Cancer, welcome back. I have gotten a mic. Last week, Capricorns made it abundantly clear that my low energy was affecting my voice, and therefore they could not hear a word I was saying. So there should be no problems with volume now because I've got an absolutely monster of a mic. So Cancer, last week I had said that I was going to do a bonus reading for you because I released your video a little bit late because I ended up doing several readings for you, deleted them and then redid the last. And so I didn't receive any comments requesting... Sorry, I totally blanked out there. I didn't receive any comments requesting an extended off of the reading that I did. So I'm choosing just to jump right in and do a... Sorry, Cancer. I'm not going to edit this either. And it's funny, I keep looking at the computer to speak because I'm so used to try to speak into the mic on the computer that I'm not actually remembering that the mic is right in front of me and I just have to keep my head forward. But in any event, what I'm trying to say, Cancer, is I'm doing a bonus reading for you. I didn't get any requests to do an extended on the last one. So a bonus it is. It's just another reading for whoever it happens to resonate with. Let's not talk anymore about anything that's not about a reading. Okay, let's get started. So the first card I have coming out is the Three of Cups. I never really liked the Three of Cups in this deck, to be honest with you. It just gives me that sense. It reminds me of somebody that I know that, I hate to say this, but was a bit of a snake. They were a bit of a snake. And so when I see this, I automatically think of temptation. I think of deceit. I think of luring, that kind of energy there. And we've got the Four of Pentacles on the bottom. So let's see what else comes out here for your reading. I'm going to try not to say too much too. I've noticed that when I've watched some clips back that I pause. So I'll try my hardest not to do that. Three of Cups. Let's find out a little more about this Three of Cups. Something wanted to peek and then it flipped back over. I'll take it. So we have the Nine of Swords here. Okay. Let's get a few more out before I start talking. I just heard that song Moonlight Desires. I think it's by Gowan. It's from the 80s for all you Gen Xers out there. Or people who just like to listen to 80s music. Anyways, Moonlight Desires, when I'm looking at this moonlight coming down on this gal that's on the couch here. And it also kind of reminds me of something being illuminated. And there's a really dark energy associated with this. So again, I don't think this Three of Cups is a good thing. I think something's gone on that's been a bit... like I said, like I referred to when I first pulled out that card. I do feel like this is your energy here in the Knight of Swords. So I feel like whatever this is, whatever has happened, that you feel... This is a really depressive energy to me, you know. It's like that energy of, what am I going to do? I think it's something that, you know, that it's something that's big enough that it keeps you up at night and you can't get to sleep, or you wake up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep. And you're trying to think to yourself, like, this is like the worst case scenario. Like, it really, truly is the worst case scenario. And I'm hearing also any way you cut it. So I think, you know, it's not one of those things where the glass is half full. You know, don't look at it as a glass is half empty, half full. I'm looking at this card, and when I see the swords up there, the way they're placed, it's like it doesn't matter how you cut it. There is no good scenario in this case. It could have something to do with the King of Swords. Again, don't get hung up on male versus female. It's really just all about energy, right? The King of Swords can be somebody, especially in this deck, I find someone who is very mysterious, who's very captivating. There's a very sexy air about them for sure. Very alluring in a bad boy kind of way. They can be a bit thorny. So I think that at least to the outside world, they come across as thorny, like maybe a bit abrasive, maybe a bit abrupt. And their words cut deeply. Like when they say something, especially if it's something hurtful, it goes right to the core. Incredibly intuitive. Their gift of sight, right? So it could be like clairvoyance, right? Or if they don't believe in that stuff, it's just their intuition, we can call it. It is incredibly sharp. Incredibly sharp. So, but there's also something about this person that's quite beautiful. I think if you go deep down inside, there's something underneath this cloak here that this person has that perhaps you've seen in the past that drew you to them. So the Ten of Pentacles has flipped up in the meantime while I was shuffling there. And this really speaks to about, it could be worldly possessions, it can be structures and foundations. Something that's incredibly important to you, and it's foundational, whatever it is. Okay, so there's definitely some stress, some heartache, some angst over something that's happened involving another person that's like this, just this very, like I said, seductive energy, someone who I'm just going to come out and say it, everyone. I'm just going to come out and say it. This is the type of person that you wouldn't trust them as far as you could throw them. If they were around your significant other, they would make you feel uneasy and uncomfortable, and you wouldn't want them around because they would actively work towards stealing. Like stealing your spouse or your partner, whatever. Okay, that's just the energy I get off of it. Oh goodness, that light is terrible. It's a terrible glare. Just gonna see if I can shut it off. Oh, it's quite dark. Sorry guys, I'm back downstairs in my little tarot studio just because it's so much cooler down here. We're going through a heat wave right now, and I do have to spend a lot of time setting things up again, including lighting and stuff, but I really just wanted to get going on these readings. I think if you guys have followed me from the start over the last few months, more than anything, I just want to get these readings out because I love doing them. And certainly I've missed you all in the past week. So yeah, I can worry about that other stuff later. Let's just get the sound down and our readings as well. So anyhow, I think I'm a little too chatty today. Back to your reading here. In any event, the Six of Swords. Again, this is a very morose card. I actually saw this during the pre-shuffle, this card come out, okay? And this card, again, matches this energy of the Nine of Swords. It's really a card to me of moving away and going through some really difficult times right now. I think it's important for you to know through this card that better times are ahead, but it's a ways off yet. And it's, even when you start to get, a little more settled and things kind of smooth out a little bit, it's still going to be a bit dusky. It's still going to be a bit difficult to navigate, okay? But there is an end in sight. There is hope, but you're in the thick of it right now, and I don't think you're really in the mood to hear something like that because it sure doesn't feel very good, is what I'm getting here. And again, it relates directly to whatever business went on up here with this person, and like I said, potentially a King of Swords energy. Yeah, Ten of Wands, this has been a real burden for you. It's probably one of those things that has seeped into every area of your life. So it's not, like you just kind of wake up in the morning and go to work and forget about it for, 8, 10, 12 hours, whatever your shift schedule is like. But it's more of this, it's there when you wake up. It's there when you stop to eat. It's there when you have a shower. It's there when you get out. It's there when you go to leave. It's there when you come back home. It's there when you're trying to fall asleep. I think you kind of get what I'm saying, right? The star energy in here. This is one of my favorite cards. Gosh, it comes up a lot. It comes up an awful lot in all of the readings, actually. I'm always happy to see it because the star really speaks about healing. It speaks about balance. It speaks about magic. It's in the sense that just when you think that things can't get any better, it does. You know, it's almost like a synchronicities will come upon you, and this will help, and it will seem magical, or it will seem I'm trying to think of another word for folks that maybe don't identify with that type of language, but you know, for someone who maybe doesn't believe in the spiritual stuff, although I don't know why you'd be watching tarot readings, but it may happen. It's just that sense of like, well, that's strange timing. You know, that was an odd thing to have happen, you know. We've got the Five of Cups on the bottom here. And this again speaks to desperation. This again speaks to this is the worst thing, or it feels like the worst thing that could possibly happen. But what's important to know, yet again, another reminder is that, you know, not all is lost, sort of thing. It's like, you know, you have suffered a loss, but there's still hope. Okay, there's still hope. But again, you'll be in no mood to hear this because it doesn't feel that way right now. And like I said, it'll be some time before it does. I think you feel a bit isolated and alone, that you might be on this journey alone, but I feel like this is your choice as well. I feel like you going off is something that you've chosen, that you need that time for whatever reason. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hermit card came out too. It would actually be interesting to see that as well, because it kind of carries that same energy of like, I need to go be with myself, find myself, you know, explore this, and, you know, ground myself and get back to good. Yeah. You know, and just talking about not wanting to have friends around and that sort of thing, or just isolating yourself. I think you're very defensive, and I think you're just pushing people away right now. You know, you're just not having it. Oh, so that was like at the top of the deck, actually. Oh, that's interesting. Well, let's pull the rest out. Oh, there's a lot of cards here. I see a few different people coming in. There's a few people in this story here. So I feel like past, present, and this feels like future to me. I don't always read it this way. For those of you that may not know, the way I read is I usually lay them out in rows like this, and I just read it as I feel it, as I hear it. It doesn't necessarily go past, present, future, but this spread feels like that for sure. So the Page of Pentacles, you know, pages are deliverers of messengers, right? They're there to give you a message. Whereas Knights, you know, they're more action-oriented cards, right? Let's take action. And so with this Page of Pentacles here, this is, you know, an offer coming in that's solid, that's grounded. I was just going to say, like, there's a real innocence about this. I just get the feeling almost like the Ace of Coins, where this is a new beginning. This is something that's being presented to you that's a new beginning, and a new beginning in foundational matters. It could be money as well. You know, the two could be connected. With the Knight of Swords here and the Knight of Cups, it's always interesting. The Knight of Swords, you know, is the kind of energy where, interesting, it reminds me of the King of Swords. But this person isn't as mature. Like, they still have a bit to learn. You can see this person here, this Knight of Swords, whoever this is, and I should say whether it's King of Swords, Knight of Swords, you could be looking at Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. Not always. Again, it could be just the energy that they encompass. I think they've got that same internal beauty that it's really difficult for people to get past. This person is even more guarded than the king. because they're not as well spoken. They are also intuitive, but they haven't honed it to that incredible ability yet. It's definitely there, but this person is very guarded, and they may not be as vocal, and if they are, it could be more passive aggressive. But not always. And sorry, I'm kind of harping on all the negatives. So any cross watchers out there, it's not to say that there's negative energy in these cards, but it's really the primary energies that are standing out to me right now. That's for sure. The Knight of Swords usually comes in swiftly, and again, I don't know if I said this already, but they aren't as, their communication isn't as well honed and crafted. So they might say something impulsively. They might be a little careless with their words. Whereas the King of Swords, if they say it, they mean it, sort of thing. Maybe not as polished as one would like, as diplomatic, but they will say it, and they'll stand behind it too. The Knight of Cups is interesting because it's a very gentle energy. It's much different than the Knight of Swords. This is somebody who's comfortable with their emotions. This is somebody who's not afraid to offer you what they have. This is somebody who's been through the shit themselves, quite honestly. Like when I see this here, it's someone who would understand heartbreak. It was somebody who would understand difficult times and coming out of that, okay? But they haven't let it make them a hard person, so they haven't let life's trials get to them and turn them kind of sour. They've more taken it in stride, learned from it, healed from it, and here they are, sort of thing. A beautiful energy, just a gorgeous, and not a king, but no less than a king. Just really, the differences I see here between this knight and king would be, the knight may just not be as established. So, they could be in the midst of their career and doing quite well, but they haven't kind of laid down roots and foundations and that sort of thing just yet, or they're just starting to do that, is the feeling that I'm getting from this here. So I believe that you're going to have two of these people come in and provide you with an offer, okay? And I mean, if this is past energy, if this is what happened, but I'm just not picking that up. Again, I feel this is future energy here, that you're going to have a choice between two, basically. We've got the Two of Swords here with the Ace of Wands. And so both of these people are going to move in. And they're going to provide you an offer. One is going to be an offer of more grounded, not as loving, so more practical. I'm assuming it'll be the Knight of Swords, something like, day-to-day, just grounded, not super exciting. The other one is going to offer passion, which I think is the Knight of Cups. So they're going to offer more of that action, the fun, the entertainment, the passionate everything, okay? Communication in the bedroom, like whatever, okay? Because this card burns really bright, okay? And you're going to be left with a choice, and it's going to be difficult. I think you're going to spend some time thinking about the past and what you've been through and how you don't want that to happen again. I think this Knight of Cups might make you a little bit nervous because you worry about them being a player and possibly running off on you or them being taken from you, sort of thing. And I think that this Knight of Swords perhaps reminds you of the King of Swords, where it was not as passionate, where it was quite sharp. So again, you might be comparing to two people that you've met previously, these relationships that didn't work out. But in any event, one of them, and I think it's this Knight of Swords, is going to remind you of this past relationship where you were quite hurt by potentially a third party involvement, like somebody else coming in between you or getting involved in you, or just something that tempted this person. But again, I feel like it's a person because it feels like someone actively working towards that. Yeah, that's not to excuse their behavior, by the way, either. So the Hierophant, yeah, this speaks about marriage, institutions, I just kind of felt like you may have worked with one of these people, or you are working with one of these people. I feel like it would be more the Knight of Cups if you were. We've got the Four of Wands here, the Seven of Pentacles, Two of Pentacles, another choice, and your Two of Cups. Nine of Cups, 10 of Cups. Oh my God, you guys, there's good things coming, okay? I mean, you need to decide what's best for you, but if this reading is resonating with you, then, I wonder if you will go for the Knight of Cups here. There's a lot of cups energy at the bottom of the deck here. And so it kind of suggests that if you did pursue this passionate relationship, the one that offered the passion and kind of that, light your hair on fire sort of thing in a good way, that potentially that could lead to, Two of Cups and evolve into like a Ten of Cups situation. So, Cancer, that's what I have for you today. I'm going to leave it there. Always interested in what you guys have to say, and gals, you know what I mean. I say guys, I mean everybody. If you've enjoyed the video, please be sure to hit the like button, comment on it, subscribe. The channel continues to grow, and I'm ever so grateful. It's always really cool to see it grow every week. So yeah, Cancer, you have a great week. I'll also be doing a regular reading for you. You are you're third down the line. You were the third most watched video in the last release. So stay tuned for your regular weekly or bi-weekly reading. Take care, Cancer. Bye-bye.